welcome. You're watching a fresh and new edition of Market Masterclass on Money9, India's first multilingual platform for personal finance from TV9 News Network. I'm Sakshi Batra, and on this show, we speak to market experts, market veterans to really understand what is their view and opinion on how are the markets going to perform from here on and what should be the prudent strategy that investors should really have in their portfolios as well. Joining in is a very special guest today. Mr. Rusmik Oza joins in. He's the head of fundamental research at Kotak Securities. Mr. Oza, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to speak to you for all our stories on money9.com, and this is your first maiden video interview with us. Hope to continue interactions with you also, but thank you very much for joining us on this special.
Thanks, Sakshi, and a warm good afternoon to all the viewers of Moneyline.
Thank you. Let me begin by understanding from you. We've already crossed this financial year 2021, which on the one hand for humanity was an unprecedented, extremely challenging year. But for investors of equities, it has been a very rewarding year. We've seen the benchmark indices, Sensex and the Nifty, give returns of a whopping 70%. What was your key takeaway from the last 12 months, and how do you see the markets performing as we step into FY22?
Yeah, so FY21 has been a very unpredictable year for everyone in the market, including most of the global experts also. It's like the way it panned out was there was panic at the start, was developments on the vaccine and the stimulus that we saw from global central banks and from global governments. The markets just went up non-stop starting from April, May onwards. I think the key thing was that the central banks were very accommodative in terms of infusing liquidity and trying to avert any disaster or any negatives which could come in. Hopefully, because of the kind of money that is pumped in by the governments, we are seeing a V-shaped recovery in global markets and in global economies. Calendar year 20, we saw a negative dip in GDP, and globally, I think we'll see around 4 to 5% GDP growth rate in the world economy. And in case of India, we're expecting almost more than 10% GDP growth in FY22 going forward. Uh, I, Another thing to notice, the yields went down in the last calendar year, which helped FPIs bring in money into emerging markets. And India was one of the biggest recipient of FII flows in India as compared to other emerging markets. So these couple of reasons have led to almost a 70%, more than 71% jump in Nifty 50 in fiscal year FY21. So that has been the past. Going forward, I think so. This FY22 could be year of consolidation. We'll see a little range-bound market. Three reasons for that. One is you had a lot of accommodation from the yield side last year. As bond yields start going up in the world markets, what will happen is there is a compression in the equity PE also, because the equity PE is linked to the bond PE also. And as yields go up, what it means is the bond PE starts contracting, and that leads to a little bit of contraction in the equity PE multiple also. That is one. Two is because the dollar index it goes up, what it means is there is little bit of slowdown in FPI flows in emerging markets because of the rising dollar. So what we can see is we'll see some moderation in FPI flows also. Just to give you some numbers, in FY21 we saw almost $37 billion, which is roughly around 2,81,000 crores coming into Indian equity markets, as compared to $25 billion we saw in FY20. We're expecting these should moderate down. I think we'll see anywhere between 15 to $20 billion of FPI flows in FY22 on account of the rising bond yields and on account of the uptick in the dollar index. And thirdly is the valuation thing. So uh, now, if you're looking at a 1 year forward PE multiple, then the Nifty is trading at almost closer to 22 times, and on a 2 year forward basis, it's trading at around 18 and a half times. So from a 1 year forward perspective, valuations are quite rich,
Right.
and as we see moderation in valuation, I think the returns could also moderate, and we'll see range-bound activity in the market going forward in FY22.
Got it. So consolidation, range bound trade, some kind of moderation, and not any high expectation of kind of robust moves that we've seen in FY21. So how should investors be really approaching FY22? How should they be, dealing with their investments in equities? All of those investments that are presently existing, any new investments that they would be wanting to invest in equities in FY22, how should they move forward?
Yeah, so for existing investors, we would suggest they should hold on, okay, because the kind of earnings growth that are going to come in the next 2 years could be very stupendous. We're expecting almost a 22% earnings growth in FY21, followed by another 27% earnings growth likely to come in FY22. This is because last year you had a very soft base and a very low base in the first half. So for back-to-back, right from March quarter to June, September quarter, earnings will be very robust, and that could keep the market quite alive and active. So we are not suggesting investors to move out from the market. For some reason, if Nifty goes to around 15,500 or 16,000 range, then one can look at doing some profit booking in certain stocks which have disproportionately gone up, and where you feel that the risk reward ratio is not very favorable. That's one way to look at it. Secondly, we are saying that this Indian market is now becoming a very good buy on dips market. So investors who want to put fresh money can look at accumulating rather than putting money at one shot. In the next 4 5 months or 5 6 months, one can keep on spreading their investments at every dips. We are looking at a little wider range in Nifty for this year, fiscal year FY22. It could range between 13,000 to 16,000. That's the range we are looking at it. So if for some reason Nifty goes below 14,000, then it will be very nice to accumulate stocks from a more than 1 year perspective, because a lot of front ending of returns is already come in FY21. So we think that maybe now one needs to have more than 1 year horizon to make money in equity markets. And if you keep on buying at dips, then the average cost will keep on going down. And even if Nifty goes to around 15,500, 16,000 by end of the year, you'll be in at least double-digit returns you'll easily make in equity markets.
Got it.
So that's the way we're trying to position.
All right. So still double-digit figures or returns can be expected in FY22. So stay put, and for fresh money, also buying on dips is a strategy that investors should follow. But I wish to ask you, FY21 we've seen outperformance in say small caps, mid caps have also outperformed the benchmark indices. Is that going to continue in FY22? How should investors position their money when they want to put in fresh allocation in large caps, mid caps, and small caps? How do you, ask them, your clients, and all the viewers watching us right now to position their money now?
Yeah, so just to give you some numbers, in FY21, against the 71% uptick in Nifty 50, the mid cap index went up 102%, and the small cap index was up almost 115%. So we have already seen some huge outperformance of the mid cap and the small cap vis-a-vis the large caps in FY21. But since mid caps and small caps are a big ocean as compared to a pond of companies in Nifty 50, there will still be a handful of opportunities. One can easily identify 15-20 stocks to invest in the mid and small cap stocks. Sorry. So going forward, I think there is money to be made in small caps because of the beaten down nature in the previous 2 years, that is between 2019 and 20. You had FY19 and FY20, you had seen a sharp correction in the mid and small cap space. The first preference is, that one can have a little decent exposure to small caps. Between mid caps and large caps, we would prefer large caps because the valuation of the mid cap. For example, we look at the forward PE multiple of the mid cap index versus the Nifty 50 index. In that case, the mid cap PE is higher than the large cap, which is not a desirable situation because mid caps being more risky, their balance sheets being more weak as compared to the large caps. Normally, historically, we have seen that the mid caps should trade below the large caps. But here is a situation because of the outperformance, they're trading higher. So we would suggest a more allocation towards large caps and small caps and then mid caps. Still, for a layman and for a lay investor, what he can do is he can have around 50 to 60% invested in large caps, between 20-30% into small caps, and balance 10 to 20% could be in mid caps.
Okay, so clear indication from Mr. Oza over here, 50 to 60% of your investments should go towards large cap, and the rest of the 40% should be divided, or 50% should be divided between mid cap and small caps as well, with the smaller portion going to small caps. But if I were to ask you, say going forward from here, which are the sectors that are going to be important to track? What will be the themes that will be outperforming in FY22? Help our viewers understand, where should they be focused on out of the entire market basket?
Right. So FY21 actually, if I break it down into performance, A is till December, we had the defensive sectors like IT, pharma, FMCG outperforming. And then as we approached the new calendar year and people saw that the economy is reshaping way and earnings of economy-driven sectors were catching up very fast, then the entire theme has shifted to economy-driven start of this calendar, that is from January onwards. Nonetheless, the valuations of these defensive sectors like IT and pharma is still on the very higher side. FMCG is reasonable. So, going forward in FY22,
Yeah.
the economy is going to grow at double digits, then we feel that economy drivers are the place to be in as a theme.
Okay.
And within the economy sectors, we would feel a little higher bias should be on a little bit of cyclical sectors like metals,
Sure.
capital goods, construction, engineering, banks, and certain allocation can go into certain other sectors like FMCG, telecom, oil and gas. So these are the sectors which we prefer and which will outperform the market going forward in FY22.
Okay. Also, I wish to ask you in the end, say for example, for investors, for viewers who want to begin their investment journey now, who want to create their portfolios now in FY22 as a fresh, when you talk about asset allocation between different asset classes, you talked about equities, you also spoke about how you should divide your money in equities between large, mid, and small caps. But, as a whole, we've also seen gold outperform in 2020. Of course, the returns over financial year are very, very meager. But, overall, between asset classes, how should investors, create this, portfolio which has a diversified asset allocation? How should they move forward? What would you suggest?
So I think this year actually gold could still underperform because
Okay.
gold flourishes only when there is global uncertainty and there is a lot of geopolitical tension. Now both these factors are out of the situation for at least next couple of quarters. So gold will continue to underperform. So we're not very bullish on gold. We would suggest maybe someone from a diversification perspective can have around 5 to 10% of their investments in gold just for from a diversification perspective. But if someone is looking for returns, and gold is not the place where you will make returns in FY22. Obviously, equities is the place to be in because as the yields in India did not go down, they might not spike also. So, interest rates will remain here only. So, what we can expect is that maybe FD returns still may not be able to beat the kind of interest rates will not the FD rates may not be very lucrative. That's the message I'm trying to give. So equities could still if you have an accumulation strategy. What I mean by accumulation is if you have certain money, you can do a systematic STP kind of a pattern where if you've got 100 rupees, you can keep on putting 10 rupees or 15 in the next few months, and you average it down. So if the markets for any reason come down, you might average it downside, and then you can easily make double-digit returns in equity markets. So I think preference is on equities, followed by real estate. But real estate, the capital investment is required is very high. But we feel that physical assets like real estate could do well going forward. So if some investors have large investable capital, then maybe they can look at real estate also as an investment because there could be a pickup on account of low interest rates and low EMIs also, and pent-up demand is also picking up over there. So
Right.
obviously, equities, real estate, then maybe gold, and then bonds.
Okay. At that note, thank you very much, Mr. Oza, for simplifying everything for our viewers here on Money9 as to how to understand what to do with your money in FY22. Where will money be made? So clearly, equities is the place to be. Although there won't be as robust returns because of the low base that we've seen the markets rebound in FY21, but there will still be an expectation that Mr. Oza has of about double-digit returns. Do keep your money stay put in the stocks and in equities as well, followed by real estate, gold and bonds as well, as far as the diversification of portfolio is concerned. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, Mr. Oza, as is always. With that, we wrap up this edition of Market Masterclass. A whole lot is awaited for you on the other side, so stay tuned on to Money9.